Hey, I found a cool place to go. We can run or we can take it slow. Won't you come with me? Completely off topic. Mama said I never make it big. Well, Mama, I don't really feel that way. Won't you come with me? Completely off topic. Oh, ain't it nice to be completely off topic?
Welcome, everybody, to Completely Off Topic with Susan and Meg. I'm Meg, and this is
Susan.
Yeah. And we are so delighted to welcome into our studio space today Kelsey Schoen. And she is a divine improviser, and we're so thrilled to have her here. Kelsey.
Hi.
Hi. I love your jeans. Can you tell me more about them?
Yes, I can. I'll tell you the whole story.
Okay.
So, let's go back to like 20.
I was gonna be like 1983.
They're not that old, so they don't last that long. Yeah, we're gonna go back to 2018 maybe.
Okay.
And I was at Chinook Mall and I tried on a pair of jeans with daisies on them.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to get them.
Yeah.
And my partner said, Kelsey, those are $400.
And there's something wrong with that?
Yeah. And I said, but I need them.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get them because they were $400. But then I went to Levi's, not sponsored. And then I was like, okay, I'll get a pair of jeans and then I'll just get them to embroider like the exact same pattern on.
Yeah.
Did you take a picture of the other jeans so you knew exactly what they looked
I
like?
found them on the internet.
Nice.
Yeah. So then, and then they did that, and then they've lasted a really long time. And this is the first pair of jeans that I've actually gotten real holes in from wearing them. They didn't come with holes.
I get holes in jeans all the time, and it's like right here. And then it's like I have to cut them into shorts, and then they're usually too short because the hole is too high.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is just, my favorite jeans are ruined.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also have had that problem. And so then I tried to outsmart the problem. So I cut the jeans a little bit lower than the hole, but I was like, they'll just be my holy jean shorts.
Yeah.
And then it like ripped across the bottom, kind of, so they were a bit cheeky of shorts. And for whatever reason, I was golfing in Saskatchewan. That it was like not a fancy golf course. It was like sand greens and stuff like that. And I got a sunburn on my cheek
Because this can be so white.
through the hole of my shorty shorts because I lubed up my legs with my lotion, but I didn't think to do my cheeks.
That's why you have to do your sunscreen in the nude.
Yeah.
That's how you don't get weird sunburns.
Yes. Yes. Because if you have a costume change halfway through the day,
Oh, yes.
yeah, you're in big trouble.
Okay, so I used to work on cruise ships where we wore cheeky outfits.
Oh, yeah,
because
okay.
it was like on every ship there was like a themed show, so I'd like maybe rock and roll or something. But then there was always a Vegas-y showgirly show, which I was not prepared for when I first went because I was like the girl that wore sweatpants to ballet.
Oh, yeah,
and liked
okay.
hip hop. Like those were my favorites.
Yeah.
So then I went to a cruise ship and everybody's dancing in 3-inch heels and feather backpacks and like doing
Right.
all this, and I was like, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, oh crap, I signed a contract and they flew me here. I have to do this.
They made you a costume for it.
And
yeah.
I'm stuck on the ship
Yeah, you
out at
can't.
sea. Yeah. They were really smart about that. So anyhow, I had to learn to do all this stuff, but then you're wearing like, fishnet tights, but you're wearing a G-string and you're wearing this like bras, so you can't have tan lines at all.
Oh.
But you have to be tan because you cannot wear these. Like everything looks better on stage if you have a tan.
Yeah, it's
your
like a
stomach
full
looks
body
tight.
makeup, yeah.
Yeah, totally. So there is on the cruise ship, if you've ever been, there's a very top deck, and it is a topless deck. So we used to wear thongs and just go up to the top deck. And I got to tell you, the first time I did it, I was like super nervous, and I was like, "Is everybody looking at me?" Nobody's looking at you.
Yeah.
And it was the most freeing thing. And now that's the thing I miss the most about cruise ships and that age.
Yeah.
Is just being like in the sun, like almost nude,
Yeah.
no tan lines. It was the best thing ever.
I mean, you still could.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I think that's an important point. Like, we should.
Yeah.
We really should.
I do. Okay, so when Nash was little, the sun used to come in my back door. The sun would just come in, or in my window. And we used to lay naked in it. And I'd do yoga, and then I'd be like, oh, the sun's perfect, Nash, let's take off our clothes. And we would just take off our clothes, and we would just lay in the sun. And I was just like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And I love it. But I just, with teenage boys at home,
No.
and they have keys,
Yeah.
you just never know when someone's popping in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think like that, you know, like the nude beach culture of like other places in the world are that's so cool. It's so good for you. I went to Mexico, and we were at a resort that was like, most of the people at the resort were from like Central or South America. And so I had my like mom's bathing suit on, which is like a tankini. It's quite a bit of coverage. And I felt like I had wandered out of like bountiful extreme Mormon cult because my bathing suit seemed so conservative compared to what everybody else was wearing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness, like I can wear whatever bikini I want. Like, and because when we're so closed off, then, and the only like nudie people that we see are like models, then the difference between that and 43-year-old mothers seems like a really big difference.
Yeah.
But if we all saw all that stuff all the time, I feel like that it's not that big of a difference.
In Europe, they have that everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you've got the bathhouses, but then you've also got like, I lived in Ibiza, Spain for a little bit, and there was a nude beach. And I was staying with drag queens at the time. Man, I sound like I had such an exciting life.
You did.
Yeah.
When I look back. Anyhow, so I was living with these drag queens from England, and they were in their 50s. They were fabulous. They had this tiny rabbit, like Volkswagen Rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
And we would all pop in there, and we would go along these curving roads, and you could hear the edge of the rim when we turned, you could hear it hitting the tire and going, I was like, we're going to die. And there's like cliffs. And you're like, we're just going to die.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we would make it to the nude beach.
Yeah.
And there was this one guy, I can still remember him. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. Everyone was naked. And I still wore a thong or like a bottom because I just was like, I don't need anything getting in anywhere. I don't want it to
You don't
be.
want to sound chafe.
Yeah. Or like have like insects be like, come on in.
Yeah.
Anyhow, there was this man, and I remember like kind of looking up, and my ex-husband was with me. He was my boyfriend at the time. And this man walked along the beach, and his penis curved to the side. So as he was walking, I'm like, it's looking at me. It's looking at me. It's looking at me. And it was just this little guy who just hooked right over.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can still see him.
Yeah.
The whitest of the men you've ever seen. The most pear-shaped man.
Yeah.
Very like whatever with this little hooky that looked
There
at
you
me.
go.
But nobody cared.
No.
Nobody cared, and bodies were just like, it's my body. I love it.
So this is funny. I was having this conversation with Ollie yesterday. That's my boyfriend. And so I grew up only with sisters. Like I knew that boys had some difference, but I had no idea really what it was. And then I saw a neighbor boy peeing one time. And so after that, I just always thought that a penis was just like a soft thumb. That was just
A soft
It
thumb.
looked like a soft thumb. Like to me, it was just like thumb.
I mean,
It's a soft thumb. So anyway, that
Trying
just
to make it
reminded me,
soft.
like having gone to a nude beach, I was like, oh, everybody has their soft thumb out. You don't want to get a sunburn on your soft thumb.
Did you call Ollie's a soft thumb?
No, I
He's just
don't.
he's like, oh baby.
I
talk
told
to
him
me
that
more.
yesterday, and he's like, when I hear about your childhood, I'm like, this sounds crazy.
And you have a sister.
yeah.
And no brother.
I was going to say, I also grew up with just girl. Well, there was my dad, but
Yeah.
he did his own thing.
Yeah.
Well, I also think, I don't know how my mom did it, but I think she trained him to pee sitting down. And so I didn't know how dirty toilets could get. I didn't know.
The same thing. My dad also would pee sitting down.
Yeah. How
I
do
think men should have to be sitting down. They should.
It makes all the difference.
Well, like I didn't know how much you had to clean the bottom of the toilet.
And
I
you
thought you
shouldn't
just had
have to clean the bottom of the toilet ever because you sit down.
Yeah.
And do you squat or do you sit?
I sit, but we got a little squatty potty, like the
Squatty potty.
Oh,
you
the
know,
little foot thing?
Yeah.
Oh, how is that?
What is that?
Well, it's this like little like foot thing that you like put on the toilet, and it kind of gives you more of like a squatting position.
My friend
be a
said
power
this to
pooper.
me because she went to her friend's place for a weekend and she had one. She's like, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, because it gets your body in the right alignment.
Yeah. So we have one of those, and then you're still just sitting, so like it's a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
When I was in Toronto, I was there for Toronto Sketch Fest and this comedy brunch with Firecracker Department. And in the airplane, there was pee all over the seat. And then the airport, there was pee all over the seat and on the floor. And these are women's bathrooms. These are not unisex bathrooms, women's bathrooms. Then I was at a theater for the Canadian Film Festival.
Oh, you were taking photos of these.
After I saw the first two ones, I was like, that's it. I'm taking photos of every single
photo
toilet
seat,
seat I encounter over this. And this one woman, as she's leaving the stall, she looked at me and was like, and left. And I was like, that's a weird look.
Yeah, she
and I
pissed
go
everywhere.
in and it's everywhere. And I'm like, how do you leave a stall in this state? And so I'm like, I don't like people to think that's me. So then I'm in there cleaning up somebody else's piss. And like wiping it all down, and I'm just like, and it's all over the floor. And I'm like, I'm not cleaning that up. But anyhow, I'm just like,
Just let people think it's you. Don't clean it up.
No, because I also don't want the next person to have to deal with that. The person who, okay, this is what we had in our bathroom growing up. There was a sign: if you sprinkle when you tinkle, be a sweetie, wipe the seatie.
Yeah.
If you don't want to sit and you want to squat, you got to take care of that.
Yeah.
You got to wrap that up.
Yeah.
Same thing with men.
Yeah.
If you're going to pee all over the seat, you need to clean that up.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement.
It is shocking. It is that.
And on the floor.
Yeah.
Like boys, it goes like down. I don't know what they do. There's like the toilet bowl. I think they pee so hard it goes down, and then it goes down the side and down the side of the toilet and on the pools in the toilet bottom and on the floor.
Yeah. I have, like an enzyme cleaner, and so it foams when it touches pee.
Oh.
So you know that that's pee there. So it's
I want
good
that.
because you're
I've
like,
never heard of this.
it's good because as you clean it up, you know that that's what it is.
Yeah.
How much piss is on the darn floor? Gallons. It appears to be
Gallons.
Yeah.
The floor is flat, but it's covered with
It's
gallons
just
of pee.
gallons of absorbed pee.
Dried and layered on layer on layer of pee.
It's its own squatty potty worth of, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not married to him anymore.
Now we know exactly who it is. But you didn't say anything, so really.
No.
Yeah, you didn't say.
Well, okay, so then my partner now, I probably shouldn't, this is probably not a story for a podcast we're going to share through the world, but he went to boarding school and he was in the military. And so there, everybody sits down because it's safer. Like, it's just safer.
Like you're not going to get shot off.
You're not going to get beat up. You're not going to get like that kind of stuff. Made fun of or whatever. So it's so thankfully, he doesn't have one of those toilets that's just caked in piss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's refreshing.
Good man.
Yeah.
You should be taught. You should be taught.
Yeah. What other shocking things happened to you being raised in an pretty much all-girl household?
What other shocking things?
Yeah, were we shocked by?
Or like when you were
Like the soft
you were
thumb.
like exposed to the rest of the world, you were like, what?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we just went over my biggest shock, and nothing else will compare.
Right. Okay.
But this is unrelated. I was also going to tell a bathroom story.
Excellent.
Well, so because when Susan was taking photos of bathrooms,
Yes.
last summer I took a video of a bathroom in a Safeway outside of Seattle.
Okay.
It was just a weird experience. Like you don't expect bathrooms to be like great in a Safeway.
Yeah.
But we went looking for it, and it's like, oh, we went down the Safeway aisles into the back with like all like the shipping and receiving.
Dodgy. Yeah.
And then like around a corner, and then I walk into this bathroom, and there's a black light, and just like it was weird.
Yeah.
Everything was blue.
Yeah.
Did you see all the germs everywhere?
Well, there was just mess everywhere. Like there was like writing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I wish I had it handy to show you.
Oh, do you have a photo of it?
No. Well, yes, I have a video of it, but
Okay. Well, we'll insert it here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I sure hope I find it.
Okay, thank you.
Anywho, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. Seattle has some weird stuff. Like, I love Seattle. I think it's a great city, but they've got some weird, like that gum wall thing.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, like that's gross.
Ew, people just put gum on the
They
wall?
just stick, and it's become like this art installation. And then they picked it off because they were like, this is gross.
Did they pick it off because of COVID?
I think they did, and it's back. I stuck my gum to it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
It's like you're being part of the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supporting it.
But yeah, it's gross.
Art.
Yeah.
Oh my God, can you imagine Elf? Like Will Ferrell, Elf at that wall?
Yeah.
You'd be like,
Yeah.
The missing scene.
Yeah, yeah, it is the missing scene.
shouldn't be in New York.
Yeah.
Now the elf goes to Seattle.
To Seattle, yeah. I love Seattle though. It's
beautiful.
It's beautiful, yeah.
I love the flat. Like we would go there as a family, and then we would bike along the waterfront. And so now I think about it, I'm like, my kids were like 4 and 6. Like Jason came were 4 and 6,
Yeah.
probably something like that, maybe
Yeah.
even younger. And Rhett would have been on the back of my bike, and we were biking downtown Seattle. Like we just did stuff anyhow. But we went down to Pike Place, and the flowers. There were so many like beautiful bouquets of flowers,
Yeah.
and they were $10. And I was like, never in Calgary will you see this huge of a beautiful bouquet for $10.
Yes.
Like just fresh and beautiful.
so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you doing in Seattle?
Oh. We went to see Taylor Swift.
Amazing.
Did you go with your sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Her
we saw-
sister Emily,
Uh-huh.
who, sorry, we're going to get to Taylor Swift because that's
Yeah.
very important, but I still feel like it's very important to know the backstory. Emily and I met on a casting director workshop online.
Oh, cool.
When I was pretending to live in Vancouver
Yeah, okay.
over COVID.
Nice.
So I could work there.
Yeah.
And we met, we were partnered together.
Yeah.
And then we were like, we should do something together. Like, I
Yeah.
like your work and whatever. So we wrote a feature film together.
Oh, cool.
Because I was reading Save the Cat, and she was
Yeah.
reading another like feature film writing book.
Yeah.
And so we used it to like structure it, and we
Yeah.
built it, and we came up with the story together, wrote it. And then we met through the Kinkanauts, and I had no idea they were related.
Right.
And then one of you, was it you that said, you just posted something about my sister? Or
I think we were just talking or something like that. And
Yeah.
we were going, I remember this conversation now.
yeah.
So we were talking about like being mixed race and how like it's hard to find roles for that, and like how you have to write something. You're like, oh yeah, like I'm working with this actress in Vancouver who is half Chinese and half like Caucasian.
She called herself a mutt. She called herself a white
something
mutt.
like that. And I was like, oh my God, I know her.
Yeah.
I know who she's talking about.
Yeah.
My sister.
And I was like, what?
And she didn't tell me she was writing a film.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she worked on Got MILF, and you donated some medical stuff for Got MILF.
Yeah, we can't talk about that though.
But you're thanked in the credits. So how was Taylor Swift?
Oh, it was one of the most stressful experiences of my life.
Really? Why was it stressful?
Well, because like everyone was like, it's got to be perfect. We got to be there on time. What if we're late? What if all these
And
things?
the outfit things that you had to do when you were trying on your Taylor outfits.
Yeah,
There was that. Did you do that?
No, I don't know how to TikTok.
Okay.
I don't know how to do that.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I don't either.
I missed. I like got off of the social medias before Snapchat.
Okay.
I have Instagram and Facebook and those things, but
Yeah.
I didn't understand Snapchat, so I just stopped. Anywho, so I didn't do any of that. No, it was just like getting there. There was also a Blue Jays game in Seattle that day.
Oh, right.
wow.
And that draws the Vancouverians down.
Yeah, so it was this really weird. We were in downtown Seattle, and like half the population were in Blue Jays jerseys, and the other half were dressed like Taylor Swift's.
Oh my God.
it was-
It's just be like, if it was football jerseys, it would have been like Taylor and her man.
It didn't happen yet though.
Oh.
Nevertheless, it
getting
sounds like the beginning of a Hallmark
Oh
movie.
my.
Right?
Yes. We have to write this
We
Hallmark
will.
movie.
We should.
That one time in Seattle, downtown Seattle.
Taylor Swift fan meets
So
Blue
how
Jays
was the
fan.
concert?
I cried
Yeah.
because I had to.
Yeah.
We were like sitting in our like little nosebleed seats,
Oh,
but
yeah.
like it didn't matter
No.
because
You're
we
part
were
of
there.
it.
Yeah.
That's the thing with concerts, right? Like you're like part of this collective energy that is like an experience that you're all like, it's different than listening to the album. It's like it's live, it's there, you're all there. Did you sing all the songs?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then like, I try not to film concerts because I think it's stupid,
Yeah.
but I still do anyways. So like you have yourself filming Taylor Swift while you're singing poorly behind the
Yes.
phone,
Yes.
and then all you hear is yourself, and you're like, I just shouldn't film these things.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do this. I didn't film the whole thing. I just had like maybe like 2 or 3 videos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. My daughter is a Swiftie, and she's just like, she's 12. So she's just getting to that stage where she's like
Just a little
deciding what
baby.
she likes about music and things like that. So I'm kind of excited that Taylor Swift is on this like crest that is so accessible to Susanna, because I think it's like such a good like mashup of like that time of your life and then that music. Like,
Which Taylor Swift's is she, or, like, what is she listening to?
so she was like really excited about the Eras tour and
Yeah.
all of that, everything. And then so we were in Canmore the other weekend, and I listened to everything on vinyl. Like I love my record player. So, but she doesn't have any records. Like, 'cause I'm just like making her listen to like Biggie Smalls and like Pearl Jam. So
There was Taylor Swift albums at Winners the
there
other
was,
day.
well, okay, so we're in Canmore, and there's this little record part of this shop, and they had a Taylor Swift. And so I was like, well, we should get some vinyl of Taylor Swift, but they didn't have Tortured Poets department. So I was like, let's just get this other one. So we got it. And then I was at Luke's Drug Mart.
That's so classic.
Yeah.
That's in Marta Loop.
Yeah,
area,
well,
right?
there's a couple of them in town, but they often have a record section. Like their one in Bridgeland has a big record section, but I was in Killarney, and they just had a box, and it was full of just Taylor Swift, and it had Tortured Poets. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So I got it, and so then Susie and I had a listening party this week, and she just was like, she was like, okay, we're gonna put this record on, and then what should I do? Because she's like, never just listened to an album. Like that's not a thing for this generation of kids. So I was like, well, why don't you get your puzzle book? So she was like feeling in her puzzle book, and like we both have these like crossword puzzles and stuff, because I try and cultivate like as much activity that's not screen time. So we have like our puzzle time. So I was like, oh, well, why don't we do puzzles? So anyway, we did puzzles. We ate licorice. It was a great listening party. So we had 2 albums to listen to. So we took 2 different nights, and it was amazing. And I was already a fan, but like just listening to the whole album, having that experience was like so awesome. So,
beautiful.
yeah, we need to see her. I'm like, and then what happened? And did you have nachos at the stadium? Like what was it like?
No, we had to like, I was like, I can't drink because that'll make me have to pee. And
Right.
we keep going back to the bathroom. But I was like,
Should have
I'm
just
not.
had like a catheter on.
Yeah, no. I don't want to do that. That would be painful.
Yeah.
They're not comfortable. It's not
they're
great.
not.
They're not great. Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to miss anything. Like, if I'm gonna miss something, it's gonna be the Evermore section, because that's the album I know the least.
Right.
But I didn't want to miss it either.
Yeah. Because you could become a fan of it from hearing it live.
And I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can't miss anything. So
Yeah.
you just have to be like, okay, I'm just gonna be warm,
Yeah.
and then later cold, because it's like open top
Yes.
football stadium
Oh, okay. Yeah.
for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna pee.
Yeah.
Sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cade
Yeah.
is like, he's like, I'm not a Swiftie, I'm not a Swiftie. Then he took this test. It's almost like, our Cosmo test, and we're like, oh my God, I'm
yeah,
this
okay,
person.
Yes. Yeah.
So he takes this Taylor Swift test,
Yeah.
and based on the songs that he knows, he's like a mega fan or something like this. And then he's like, what song? And he's like, this song or this song. He does mine, and I'm like, I don't know what kind of, I'm not as cool of a Taylor Swift fan as he is. I'm like super like mainstream, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then now he's like, I'm way more of a Taylor Swift, I'm more of a Swiftie than you. And it became part of his identity. I'm like, you can tell your friends, you can update your friends on your Swiftie status.
He needs a Swiftie t-shirt.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna get him one.
Yeah. I'll tell you, now I haven't seen Taylor Swift in concert, so she's not in the running for this award, okay? Only because I haven't seen her.
That's okay.
But the person who did win the award was Dolly Parton. I saw her live at
She'd be
the Saddledome.
amazing.
She is a better singer than any of her recorded stuff. Like her live voice is gorgeous and beautiful, and like clearly in the production, she like adds a bit of that country like flavor to it more than her natural voice has.
Yeah.
Like she just has this beautiful voice. She played like 6 different instruments. She played the yakety sax.
What is a yakety sax?
It's like a mini saxophone. And she played, like she played that in her concert.
Wasn't she just on the Super Bowl?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's a little bit like when you go to Chuck E. Cheese and there's like animatronic. Like she's a little bit like that because her head is so enormous with hair and her body is so tiny.
It's like this giant
It's
thing
like-
on this.
It
on this,
really is
needle.
like a camera on a tripod. Like it's a lot of hair. But I mean, I obviously I already loved her because I was there.
Yeah.
But I just loved her all the more. She invented an instrument. Like she has an instrument she plays that she like designed herself. It's like a little string instrument that she made out of like a wooden box and sticks when she was little.
Yeah.
And then now she has like replicated it. So she played this weird banjo guitar thing that she made. And then she played the banjo and then she played the guitar and then she played the yakety sax. And then she was playing drums. And her drummer didn't want to go on tour with her because he said he was too old. So she was so heartbroken to do this tour without him. She bought a drum machine instead. And she kicked it because she was mad at him. Yeah. She kicked it. I was just like, oh, that's amazing. But she was like, he saved me like however much money because I didn't have to pay a drummer. I just bought this drum machine. Yeah.
And it was a musician is hard to do.
Well, yeah.
Right?
And so all the musicians, like her set, they were all on these like big circles. So each musician that she works with had their own circle. And then she had her circle and it kind of like moved around and turned and rotated and stuff. And then the drum machine, like the drum kit was on its own circle where normally the drummer would have been. But
And how old is Dolly Parton?
She's, I think, 78. She would have been 70.
To be too old to tour.
He was in his 80s.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, but it was like, so I know if I ever get the opportunity to see Taylor Swift, which I know is like kind of a long shot.
It's really hard and like
yeah.
I have anxiety. We got them off Ticketmaster during the whole Ticketmaster crashed and all these other things happened.
Yes.
But like, that's how we got them, and it wasn't the most stressful thing in my life, but it was a little bit stressful.
Yeah.
Would you do it again?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I want to go there again, but do I want to deal with all the stress leading up to it again? I don't know.
Yeah. What outfit did you wear?
I wore clothes that I already had because I was feeling a little bit broke. So I had
you
just
spent
like
money on the tickets and the travel and the hotel and everything.
Exactly. We stayed at a hostel and like there were 6 of us, and so we rented an entire room of I don't remember what the hostel, the Tortoise something in downtown Seattle.
Yeah.
And so we saved money there.
Yeah.
That's good. And that you were in a big group, then you were all with that would be fun.
Yeah.
No, I'd still do it again.
Yeah.
I would go through the pain and the stress. I wouldn't spend like $1,000 to do that, like to just get tickets. That's too much money.
Yeah.
Are you okay sharing how much you spent for this concert? Like
I don't remember all the prices, but like there's like all your normal travel prices. But like I think we got tickets for, it was under 200 Canadian.
Oh.
Like it was,
wow.
it's still expensive, but it's
Yeah.
relatively reasonable.
Yeah, because I was looking, because after this experience with Susanna, I was like, oh, I should see like, and they're like $3,000 right now on the Ticketmaster.
So I was at the Loose Moose, and do you know Deb?
No.
Okay, so Dennis Cahill is the artistic director.
Oh, his
and
partner.
Deb is his partner.
Yes, I do
And
know her
she
name.
runs front of house and manages and stuff like this, right? And I was talking to her before a show, and something about Taylor Swift came up, and she's like, "Can you believe that she lets this happen?" And she was being like, she wasn't.
Yeah.
Anyhow, because the whole Ticketmaster thing where people are just buying up the tickets and selling them for thousands of dollars after.
Yeah.
And I said, well, Deb, I think her job is to write and sing music.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what we can expect from Taylor Swift. And
Yeah.
I think everything else is probably somebody else's job.
Yeah.
And she started laughing because she's an artist surrounded by artists.
Yeah.
Like she's like, oh my God, yes, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you believe what her management got?
Yeah.
And then she's like, yes.
But
Yeah.
apparently, like, this doesn't happen for like concerts in like Europe and stuff like that. They don't have the same like issues with like people like buying a bunch. Yeah. Like you can buy tickets there for just like normal prices.
Yeah, there's something weird with North America.
Yeah.
That Europe, I don't know, there's just a culture in Europe, the sex positivity, the way that the community is built, the way people come together in a plaza. Like there's just something wonderful about Europe and the food, the way it's not transported across the whole country. So it doesn't need to be processed in so many different ways. And there's not so many added ingredients to keep it fresh. Like there's just something about Europe. They've got such a smart way to live and a healthier way to live, it feels like most of the time, that it just makes sense that they would not be like, I need to, maybe they just aren't as capitalist.
Yeah, I think it has to do with that.
Yeah, and they're just like, I don't have to buy everything and make all of this money off of people.
Yeah, because they're not also like, I mean, some might be starving for groceries, but all of that, the disparity I think is different.
Yeah.
So it doesn't drive people to like invent new businesses to resell things that have already, have a fair market value and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That would be my guess, but I don't know, but it has that feel.
Yeah.
It stinks of North American capitalism.
Yeah.
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 North America.
Yeah.
But I love it here in Calgary.
Yeah.
Calgary's such a great city. You're born and raised here.
I am.
Which neighborhood?
I was born in Edgemont.
Ooh.
Okay.
A Northwesterner.
Northwesterner. Yeah.
So what schools were in your trajectory?
Well, so
That's a good word.
yeah, it was. I went to Catholic school.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because my dad grew up Catholic, and my mom didn't, and my grandparents really cared about this kind of thing. So I went to Catholic school. So I went
the same story. My dad was Catholic, and I went to Catholic school. Yeah.
I went to Mother Mary Green. Okay. I never learned. Do you actually in sex ed get like a banana and a condom demonstration if you aren't in Catholic school? I don't know if you went to Catholic school or not.
Well, I'll tell you this. It came up yesterday.
We were talking about this at another podcast.
So what my experience was, I can tell you two things. One, I was a teacher for a while, and I taught biology, and there was a syphilis outbreak at the high school where I was teaching, which I found out about. And also there were 3 teen pregnancies, and it was not a high population school, so that seemed very high to me. And so I went to the principal because I found out that the person who was supposed to be teaching sex ed wasn't. And I said, can we teach sex ed through biology? And so he said yes. So I brought in the public health nurse. And she had what she called literally a woody, and it was like a wooden carved penis.
Amazing.
And so she just put it on the table, and she put a condom on that. So that was when I was teaching, that would have been 2008 or so. So yes, there was I didn't see a banana, but there was other explorations.
There were condoms in the school.
In the school for us
you can't have school.
Yeah.
You didn't have condoms in the school.
No,
because Catholic, there's no.
Oh yeah,
it's procreation.
It's abstinence. They teach
sacred.
abstinence.
Right.
Abstinence and chastity.
Yeah.
And there are no condoms because you don't wear a condom because you don't have sex until you're married. And the purpose of having sex
is to
make a baby.
Right.
That is it.
Yeah.
So there were no condoms. And then I always expected the guy to put on the condom. And then if I ever had to put it on, I was like, I don't know. I think you pinched the end and I just wait. And then, oh my God, when the condom is too big for the penis, it is such an awkward moment.
Yeah.
It is so awkward. And then I'm like, why am I the one supplying the condoms for your penis that doesn't fit these condoms that I didn't know doesn't fit you? Why don't you carry around condoms that fit you, that you like to use? And then we don't have to have this awkward moment where I'm like, you have a tiny penis because it doesn't fit in here.
Yeah. So this same teacher taught us that Durex are good for a more of a medium-sized fella.
Okay.
And then obviously the Trojan Magnums would be for someone on the more XL
I always
side.
buy those ones.
But there's
I'm
no
hopeful.
size small.
I'm just hopeful.
There's no size small in condoms. There's Durex, which is the medium, and then the other ones are larger.
I got to tell you, there is a size small out there. Not a condom, but there's a size small penis.
Yes.
But then again, I'm 5'9". And now I've had 4 children, so I think I'm actually out there for the men who can't fit.
I had a friend he used to say that. He was so positive. He was like, it may be small, but it fits them all.
It does fit them all.
Yeah. I'm like, good for you.
Oh, I've been with men that are small, but they do other things that are fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No.
It's about what are you doing with each other while you're present.
Yeah.
And having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The soft thumb.
The soft thumb.
What a weird interpretation to make as a child. I was like, I got it. I've got it figured out.
It's a soft thumb.
Okay, so my brothers and I used to have a bath together when we were very little. I have 2 older brothers.
So you knew that the toilet was gonna be messy.
Oh yeah, I just always,
just
I
grew
just
up with that
expected that
normal.
everybody's toilets were messy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one time my brother, I don't remember which one, so they won't mind me saying this probably, pushed it in
Oh, okay.
and then was like, look, I look like Susan.
Oh. Have you seen those guys, the puppetry of the penis?
No.
So there's these 2 guys, I think they're European,
Yeah.
and they do this like touring show where they basically like stretch out their penises and testicles into like shapes of things. Like one guy can like fold his into like a hamburger. So you go to the show and these 2 men.
What do you mean fold it into a hamburger?
He like somehow stretches all of this material, this flesh
And
material.
it looks like a McDonald's hamburger. Like it
Yes.
doesn't just look like there's like 2 things on top and something in the middle, and it's an interpretation.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
looks
a real
like a hamburger. And the
like
other guy,
the bun and everything, or just
yeah,
the patty?
like all of it. It just looks like a hamburger. So anyway, I would recommend all viewers to
Check this out.
check out Puppetry of the Penis. But they do these touring shows. So it's a live show, but then there's like a camera and then there's a projection of the creation that he makes out of his Dealy Do
Yeah.
and Berry Beanbag.
Oh, berry beanbag.
Yeah.
Aw, it is like a beanbag. It's always shocking to me how different even that is.
Yeah.
How many different kinds of beanbags there are. There are a lot of different
Sky's
kinds.
the limit.
Different like coverings,
Mm-hmm.
different textures, different smells,
Mm-hmm.
different everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this what you were hoping we talk about?
Always.
Yeah.
I want to talk about beanbags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, that was, someone somewhere got a government grant to make puppets out of their pork sword.
Pork sword.
Yeah. I was thinking about my like colorful language, and it's this stuff.
Yeah.
This is what
Pork
it is.
sword.
Yeah.
Which
pork
is
sword,
totally
berry beanbag.
legit. That's
yeah.
PG, man.
Yeah. People use it all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't
I'm
invent that.
I'm very like mainstream, like I say vajayjay and stuff.
No.
Yeah.
No. Your fart pocket, for example. Your tutor.
A fart pocket?
Fart
yeah.
pockets?
It's your turd cutter.
We need some animation in this and show actually a poop coming up and then something going cut. Oh my goodness. Do you ever get visuals like that? Are you a visual person? It's like if you see or hear a story, you actually visualize it?
Yeah.
Is that what you
Like-
do? Okay, we're talking about improv now. When
Yeah.
you're improvising, do you see the story as you guys are building it?
Yeah, like, when you like are playing like make believe as a kid and you're like, okay, like this is here. We're in like, I don't know, fantasy world. So I'm like, there's trees all around us.
Yeah.
And there just are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just, I don't know. In my brain, I think everyone can do it, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a friend who doesn't visualize things. Like her world is like with all through language and
Yes.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it's not a visual thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, because I'm all visual. Like if I'm improvising,
Mm-hmm.
like I have object permanence of where the doorknob that I mimed
Yes.
is. Like I can go back to it.
Well, I don't have
Give
that.
or take. Like
It's here now.
but you know on what side of the stage it's on and
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Or you can comment and say, where'd the doorknob go? Because
Yeah.
you realize it, right?
Yeah, or like if someone like moves it across the room, you're like, well, that's, I guess there's, like it's,
It's a moving doorknob.
yeah. So are you visual?
I am. I am very visual. And I didn't realize it until I was part of this Artist Way group. And one of the participants said that she couldn't, I think she was one that could only visualize. She couldn't memorize or learn through language. Like that was kind of like one of her learning things that she couldn't do. And so I was like, oh, okay. And I can't remember what it was, but I was like, that week, I was doing something with maybe scripts or something like that, or maybe I was auditioning or something. And I was like visualizing the whole thing and everything. And then when I visualized it all, the lines came. It must have been an audition.
Yeah.
And then the lines were just like, it's just obvious that these are the lines. And I was like, oh, I'm totally visual. Because if I think about the script and where the words are, I'm just like in the script.
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking of the words, and I don't have the character, I don't have the location, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
And then when we came back to the meeting the next week, I'm like, I'm visual. Like I totally get you seeing like objects and like things and not the words. It was very interesting because I never even realized that about myself.
Yeah.
But I can do both. Like I'm a mathematic person, so I can like do numbers and like if I'm spelling, I actually have to see.
Yeah.
I have to see the word in order for me to spell it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you when it comes to improvisation.
Okay.
What does flow feel like when you're improvising?
I feel like it like goes back to like, I don't know, for me, like with improv, like my favorite part is like you're just like playing make-believe like you were when you were a kid. And so like when you're like, I don't know, listening to people going back and forth and you're just playing. Like you're not like trying to crack jokes. You're not like trying to like push anything, but like you'll just like naturally push a story forward. It's just playing and being free.
Yeah. And so when you feel like, are there scenes when you don't feel like you're playing and being free and it's like, you're stuck?
Sometimes, like if you feel like you're not being heard or if you, I don't know, like once you like get into your head about it and you're like, I gotta make people laugh, like I have to be funny, then I'm my least funny and entertaining.
We were in a show this year and I remember afterwards you're like, I didn't really contribute anything. But I was like, what are you talking about? Because you brought me on stage and we were pregnant women.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, because we had this, the way this format went is a band played a song and then we took things from the song and we created scenes. So scene after scene after scene for the song. And then they played another song, we did a bunch of scenes and then we did that 3 times. And then the 4th song they played, we came on and we did vignettes that closed each scene.
Yeah.
And so we did one where, what was it? It was about a bump. The song was Bump.
Yeah, well, he was like
that.
just saying bump, bump. I couldn't actually hear what he was saying. And I was like, I've got one idea.
There were like, it was like a 6-piece band with trumpets and
was
stuff.
really
and a loud.
good.
Oh, okay.
It was very cool. But you couldn't necessarily, he was rapping, so you couldn't necessarily hear all the lyrics.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But then she's like, come, we're pregnant. And she pulls me on stage.
So that's all I have.
And we just started bumping our bellies together.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Just like bump, bump, and we're like bump, bump, bump. And then at the end, when the vignette part came on, we kind of bumped, and then we both went, ooh! And it came out, we're like,
Yeah.
babies. So I was like, afterwards, you're like, I didn't contribute. I'm like, you literally made the pregnant stuff. But it's like that sometimes, right?
I feel like, I think it's just like a difference in format with that. Like, I was really in my head about that one being like, oh, like because with this one, you weren't doing callbacks or anything.
Oh, yeah.
You were just kind of staying like separate stories and then like making one callback at the end. And I don't think that's how my brain works usually, where it's like, I want to follow a path or a story or something.
Yeah.
And
it feels like such a waste when you can't do a good callback.
yeah. But like, yeah, like when you go from here to here, then you're like, you keep playing the game, you keep following like your characters like going on an adventure or something like that. Like I think I personally need that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is also why I'm more drawn to long form as opposed to short form.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Amazing. Well, I always have fun on stage with you.
I always
You're
have
fun
fun
to
on
work
stage with you. Do you want to be on stage together?
Yes.
Stage together.
So fun.
Oh my God, we're on stage right now together.
Yes, kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Just like a video stage.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming and joining us. This was
Thank you
really
for
fun.
It was
having
so
me.
wonderful to meet you and
Nice
talk
to
to
meet
you
you
today. What a
too.
treat.
Yeah.
What a wonderful, kind of weird way to get to know someone.
Yeah.
Just recording it all. But
perfect.
it's wonderful. Yeah.
We are recording your meeting.
Yeah.
You'll have this for the rest of your
So
So
lives.
now when we talk about our friendship, we're like, okay, let's just go back to the video.
Go back to the beginning. You'll have like
yes.
a 50 years of friendship and be like, let's watch the way we began.
And we met.
We've got
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Oh yeah, it's hug time.
Ooh, ain't it nice to be completely off time?